everyone, it's the weekend. Welcome again to Massey United Insurance's Line and Length. I'm your host, Barry Wilkinson. Hello to all of our friends on Sportsmax and Singh TV. It's a show where we look at cricket not only in the region, but internationally as well. With me is Andrew Seeley, back. Glad to have him back. What a show we have for you today. A show unlike any other. We can call this Massey United Insurance Line and Length Unplugged.
Definitely unplugged. Omari Banks, all the way from Anguilla. He was a star on the cricket field. Now he's a star with a guitar.
That's right. Well said, Andrew. Omari Banks, former West Indies and Leeward Islands cricketer who was being a big match winner for the West Indies, especially in 2003 in that very famous match, West Indies and Australia. He's on our show today, and you've heard about the Canadian Premier League. We're going to talk to the man behind that big tournament that has already seen some very lucrative signings from some West Indies players who are coming aboard. It's all happening on this edition of Massey United Insurance's Line and Length. Don't move a muscle. We'll be right back.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
I live cool, I live fresh, I live life without the stress. Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call. Feel the energy, feel the breeze, I feel like doing as I please. Relaxation comes with these, I live cool with Lima Call.
Live cool with Limacol and feel the freshness of a breeze in a bottle. Limacol is trusted the world over and gives that easy, breezy Caribbean feel to all.
Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Limacol.
Well, welcome back to Massey United Insurance's Line and Length. With me from Toronto in Canada is Roy Singh. He's the founder and CEO of the Canadian Premier League. Roy, it's good to have you on the line. This is not a game show by any means, but tell me a little bit about Roy Singh, because many people in the Caribbean, they perhaps will know the name Roy Singh. Tell me about yourself.
Roy Singh, actually, I was born in Trinidad and Tobago. Came up to Canada when I was roughly 15 years old, and I've been living in Canada ever since. I'm originally a gold explorer in South America, which is what my company is. And up until just about 2 years ago, I took on the project to bring international cricket to Canada, and that's where I currently stand.
Now, Roy, we're looking at some lovely pictures of what you perceive to be a stadium to be developed. Tell me about where this stadium is to be developed, and tell me how far the construction is for the start of what you are assuming to be the Canadian Premier League on August 1st next year.
Well, we've looked at several locations, Toronto being the main location that we were looking at for land, which will be used to construct the stadium. But at this stage, we have actually pinned it down to Brampton, Ontario, is where we will be proceeding to build this particular stadium that's been designed already. And at what stage it's at, the design is complete. We intend to start construction within 12 months or so.
So if you do start the construction within 12 months, the Canadian Premier League is supposed to start August 1st next year. Obviously, the first year will not be played at this stadium.
Definitely not, actually, but it's projected to take roughly 3 to 4 years to complete. But in the meantime, we will be using a temporary facility to launch the T20 in Canada next year.
Do you know where that facility is likely to be at this stage?
We're currently in negotiations to sign a contract with the management firm that controls the stadium, and that will be disclosed in about a month. But for one thing, I'll tell you, it's not going to be in Toronto. It's going to be a city outside of Toronto.
But it will be in somewhere in the United States of America?
It will be in Canada, definitely. Definitely in Canada, yes.
All right, now, Roy, I want to ask some questions about this Canadian Premier League. I realize that you have some well-known West Indians backing you, Shivnarine Chandapal, Dinesh Ramdin, Sunil Narayan, to name a few. You want to play the tournament August 1st, 2015. That is likely to clash with the local Limacol Caribbean Premier League. Will their involvement be also that they will be playing in this Canadian Premier League?
Definitely, that's what the plans are at this stage. But I think the Caribbean Premier League will complete prior to the launch, and it's going to run from August 1st to the 27th, roughly, of September in Canada here.
So your league is going to be approximately almost 2 months.
Approximately, yes. It's going to be spread over 2 months. Played Thursday, Sunday, roughly. But that's basically what the schedule is at this point.
Now, what is the investment like for such a massive undertaking? Because this doesn't look like any 2-cent operation that you're planning to develop. What is the expense like to undertake this operation?
Well, the stadium itself is going to cost close to $1 billion to construct. That includes the land acquisition. The land is going to cost roughly about $35 million, and of the $1 billion, and the rest would go towards the construction of the stadium, which is a quotation we received from a very prominent Canadian construction company here. And the Canadian Premier League will cost roughly about $10 million to launch separately.
How do you see a return on your investment for this particular venture?
Well, the accountants actually did a pro forma statement for us, and it's basically very conservative. And it points to just roughly $85 million in revenues for the first year. And going forward, it's definitely at a different level as compared to the first year. So to answer your question, we spent $10 million. We stand to reap just over $7 million in revenues in the first year.
Now let's talk about a little bit about television rights. What is your proposal for television rights to have the Canadian Premier League broadcast and beamed to the entire world? Have you been in discussions with any major networks?
We have actually. We haven't really confirmed anything as yet with these broadcast companies, because we're looking to, broadcasting is a big part of our revenue stream. So we're treading carefully on how we finalize that. We intend to deal with a company in India, and which is called ZTV. I can mention that, and that will basically transfer to the Indian audience. And in Canada here, we're dealing with a major Canadian broadcasting company called Sportsmax.
Now, when I also look at the Canadian Premier League, you said you want to attract the creme de la creme of T20 cricketers. Besides the ones that I've mentioned in Cyril Narain, Dinesh Ramdin and Shivnarine Chanderpaul, who have already invested in your venture, who are some of the other big names that you're looking to attract to the Canadian Premier League?
Well, I mean, obviously Chris Gayle is a part of it, and several other West Indian players. But with regards to the other end of the continent, I mean, we've been in discussion with Shane Warne to be a manager coach of one of the teams, and David Miller and several other Australian players that we have been spoken to and have shown an interest in playing in Canada. That's just some of them, but there's quite a few others that's actually been in discussions with us.
All right. Well, Roy, this is obviously not going to be the first and last time we're going to be talking to you. We're going to be keep updating our listeners, our viewers about this. It sounds exciting, and surely with 3 major cricketers already on board, 3 or 4, people will want to keep hearing about it. So Roy Singh, out there in Toronto, Canada, I want to thank you for being on the show. We're going to keep updating everyone about this Canadian Premier League, which should be launched shortly. Roy, thank you so much for joining us on the Massey United Insurance's Line and Left.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
I live cool, I live fresh, I live life without the stress. Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call. Feel the energy, feel the breeze, I feel like doing as I please. Relaxation comes with these, I live cool with Lima Call.
Live cool with Limacol and feel the freshness of a breeze in a bottle. Limacol is trusted the world over and gives that easy, breezy Caribbean feel to all.
Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Limacol.
So welcome back then to Mass United Insurance's Line and Length. As promised, a special guest with us this week, none other than Omari Banks. Andrew Seeley is back with us after a little hiatus or a bit of a break. But it's good to have both of you gentlemen because Omari, you know, every time you call the name Omari Banks, where cricket is concerned at least, immediately, Andrew, everybody remembers 2003, West Indies, Australia. That was your proudest moment in cricket. Take me back there for a minute as we introduce your new things.
How far do you want to go back is the question. I'll take you back to, I'll say probably the afternoon just before I went into bed. I remember I was about to go into bed on a hat trick.
Yeah.
I think really Jacobs just got out. Sawan got out first. And then after Sawan got out, he got out hooking Brett Lee. I remember that. And he brought up his 100, he got out to Brett Lee, and then Jacobs came in. And then there was a decision in that match when Jacobs got out the first ball, where actually if you look at the replay cameras, the ball came off of his elbow or something like that.
Correct.
And then the crowd threw bottles onto the field. And I remember even before, when someone just got out, I went to the dressing room, I was like, okay, cool, my turn is coming. This was the second new ball. Anyway, the crowd threw the bottles onto the field, and I'm walking out in this whole
Heated environment.
This whole theater. And actually, a lot of people ask me this question all the time: was I nervous, or how did I feel going into that in that situation? And to be honest, at that time, I was actually very relaxed. Relaxed in the sense that, I mean, up until that point, I mean, it was a case of, hey, there was so much drama in the match where I think they got out at 2:18. There was a drama between Sawan and McGrath.
Correct.
I mean, just the whole series was a series of drama. And when I went to the middle, I was like, hey, this is your second test match that you're playing in. From a child, you grew up knowing that you wanted to represent the West Indies team at the highest level. And this was a moment for me now. At that point, I was saying, hey, let me go there and enjoy myself. And when I went to the crease, I mean, I was facing the likes of Brett Lee, but the truth is I had faced him in the practice matches before. I faced him in the last test in Barbados. And I think that pitch was actually a very dead pitch in Barbados that year. And so I had the confidence, though. I had actually a lot of confidence going in, especially in terms of my batting, etc., that it wasn't something new.
Yeah.
So although, you know what I mean, so I wasn't overawed by the bowlers within themselves. So when I went to the middle, it was just like, hey, go there, do the best that you could do. I was batting with an experienced campaigner, which was Shanda Paul at the time. Shanda Paul is somebody who's very calm and relaxed when he's at the crease. He's not somebody who's going to throw a lot of, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. Actually, his simplicity sometimes gives you a sense of calm.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, just approach it, go to the middle, watch the ball, and let's try to rotate the strike. I remember as a kid growing up, when we played cricket, when the older person in, I remember they always say, hey, okay, I'm gonna take maybe 4 or 5 balls and then put you on strike. When I went in with Shanda Paul, it was none of that. I was like, all right, you gotta bat for yourself now. Now when someone bat for yourself, and I appreciate it because I always see myself as a batsman as well. So yeah, but when I went in, hey, I mean, I think I just watched the ball onto the bat. I think early on, I mean, Brett Lee bowled fast, but honestly, the ball wasn't doing a lot in terms of swinging. It was really bouncing. He was bowling very fast. But if you know Brett Lee, he's one that, I mean, just especially in the Caribbean, is not one that will swing the ball plenty. It was tense. He bowled a lot of bouncers. Shanda Paul stayed his positive, aggressive self. I played a couple of shots. A couple went for 4. I had one that nick off early in my innings. It was dropped, but from after that point, it was just, I just used it as I was playing back in Anguilla, back home, and just enjoyed myself. At the end of the day's play, we were within maybe 40 runs of play to try to cut the story short. And I'll take you straight back to the hotel. I always mention this. When we got back to the hotel the night before, between myself and Shanda Paul, narrowed the margin. I can't remember, but it was quite a figure in a short space of time. And I remember Lara, the captain, saying, whatever happens with the outcome of this match, and I'll give Brian Lara a lot of credit because he's been supportive of me throughout my career, I'll definitely say that. He said, whatever happens with the outcome of this match, he was proud of how the team responded. As a young player, somebody who grew up idolizing Brian Lara and his exploits, the that gave me a lot of confidence going out the next day. I remember I had a lot of family over there to the match. Antigua, the test match was played. So we had people there at that test match who I knew from a child. My mother, my dad came up. Actually, my mother wasn't there. My dad, my aunts, my sisters, girlfriend. Everybody was there at the time in support. And plus, this was in Antigua, so I had a host of other Anguillans and from the Leeward Islands coming around. So going into the next morning, it was like, I was like, hey, this is an opportunity now for me in front of my home crowd at an international level to enjoy it and really do something memorable, that whatever happens, whether I play one more test match, or 10 or 100, this would never be forgotten.
Yeah.
And we went out the next morning. Chandapal got out early. And at no point in time, I will say this, at no point in time in that, even when Chandapal got out, I thought that we were in a position that we would have lost. Vasper Drakes came to the crease, and I grew up, my first test match, first class match that I saw in my life was Vasper Drakes batting in Anguilla against the Leeward Islands, scoring 184 at Ronald Webster Park.
That's right, yeah, we know that was a famous game.
There's a lot of history going on. Vasper Drakes is the first signature that I've ever gotten in cricket.
Right.
So this is now plays into the drama of it. I know what Vasper Drakes could do as a batsman. So when he got out, I remember Vassie saying we're going to take it in tens. We went out there, Vassie played a few shots. The crowd was behind us. I watched the ball continue doing what I was doing the other day. And at the end of the day, we just took it in time. Because I was saying, hey, if you need 30-yard runs to win, you got a whole day. Come on, you're really not supposed to lose that match. And the truth is I had a lot of confidence in myself as a batsman and as well as my other teammates to come. In a nutshell, end of the day's play, everybody was happy. I was proud of the team's achievement. And I was happy to be able to contribute to a success for West Indies.
You know, you obviously didn't come all the way from Anguilla to tell us that story. What are you doing in Barbados?
True. I'm here in Barbados now, here to promote my music. For the past 4 years, I finished playing cricket 4 years ago. But music is something that has been around my entire life.
Right.
Music, sorry. My dad being Omari Banks, who's a well-known and respected musician, artist, regionally and internationally. I grew up with a band house beneath my bedroom. So music is something that actually even before cricket was in the picture. I've been in talent shows, I've played the guitar. I have had guitars before I could even play guitar. So I was known for the cricketer to travel with his guitar, even when I played cricket. So I'm here in Barbados to promote my music. I've worked hard over the past 4 years as to work on my skills as a musician, as well as my image and my branding as an artist. So I'm here just to introduce that to a wider audience, well, the audience in Barbados. Over the past 4 years, I've been able to get accolades. Over 2013, being Artist of the Year, Songwriter of the Year, Music Video of the Year, and Tempo, the Song of the Year of 2013, and other accolades within the music area. I just recently did a show with American Heritage High Octane and Alkaline in St. Martin. So majority of the time when people see me, because they knew me from my cricket, they always say, Omari Banks was a cricketer, but there is a long history that goes into me as a musician, and I'm here to let the people of Barbados know what Omari is about when it comes to my music.
Well, Omari, take us back. You're here to promote music, but I think in 2009 when you decided to call it quits, a lot of people were surprised. Yes. Was it a difficult decision to make? Because I think at that stage there probably was still the possibility of Omari Banks playing more international cricket.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people were surprised, but I think it's well documented about whether it be the politics or the ups and downs of Caribbean cricket and etc. And I've never been one to blame others. I think just the cricket and life in general, politics plays a role in it. And I've worked my entire life very hard to achieve whatever measure of success which I'd attained up to that point. I just got to a point where I didn't want to do it anymore, in the sense that I wasn't prepared to wake up at 4 o'clock every morning, to go to train, sacrifice the hours. I'd already come from England, playing for Somerset, and my last full season for Leeward Islands. When I came back, I scored the most runs and took the most wickets for Leeward Islands. I didn't even get on the West Indies A team. This is nothing to think, but I'm just laying the facts as they are. So I got to the point where I said, hey, you know, I had a bit of politics going on in Leeward Islands. I was like, at this point in my career where I think I'm supposed to be either now reaching the climax of as an off spinner, as a batsman all around at 27, 28, you need to be pushing in, not to be pushing ahead, not to be wiring and quarreling over politics with people within your own group to try to progress. So I got to the point where I didn't want to invest the time and effort, and I was brought up with a mother who always put the emphasis on following your passions, and passion is something which I've always done. Followed my passion, and when the passion for cricket, getting up every day and working as hard as I can to ensure that I'm a better person and a better cricketer, when that kind of diminished, I decided to say, hey, it's time for me to move on to something else, and which is actually the title track of my album, Move On.
Fantastic stuff. When we come back, we want to hear the new side of Omari Banks, hear some of his music, and get a sense and a feel as to why this cricketer with so much talent, who was won matches for the West Indies, has decided to go into music totally. We've seen Curly Ambrose do it. We've seen Sir Curly Ambrose and Sir Richard Richardson. They've both done it, and now Omari Banks is doing it, and we're going to get a taste of what he has to offer when we come back right here on Mass United Insurance's Line and Length. Don't move a muscle.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
I live cool, I live fresh, I live life without the stress. Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lime-A-Call. Feel the energy, feel the breeze, I feel like doing as I please. Relaxation comes with these, I live cool with Lime-A-Call.
Live cool with Lime-A-Call and feel the freshness of a breeze in a bottle. Lime-A-Call is trusted the world over and gives that easy, breezy Caribbean feel to all.
Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lime-A-Call.
Welcome back then to Mass United Insurance's Line and Length. It was in 2009 that the Anguillan Omari Banks decided to move on, and today he's done just that, doing a song for us from his album, Moved On. Here's Omari Banks.
It's in your moment of trial you decide if you will win or roll over and die. But there is no vision, my friends, we shall die. Steadfast in your faith and soar to the sky. But don't look back on what you could have done. Just move on, but learn, you champion. And don't sit and sulk, my friend, you are God's son. Just move on, but learn, you champion. With faith the battle's won. Enjoy the journey where you want to go, and smile at times when your faith's running low. Beware of those who don't mean you well. Improve yourself and show others respect. But don't look back on what you could have done. Just move on, but learn, you champion. And don't sit and sulk, my friend, you are God's son. Just move on, but learn, you champion. With faith the battle's won. And when you breathe heights as high as you can climb. Be sure to pass what you learned down the line. Find peace in knowing you gave it your best. Be true to yourself and have no regrets. My Barbados massive, don't look back on what you could have done. Just move on, you all are champions. And don't sit and sulk, my friend, you are a godson. Just move on, but learn you champion. With faith the battle's won.
Fantastic stuff. I gotta admit, I have to admit, this is the first time I've ever heard you perform. I've seen you play cricket for so many years. That I did not expect. True talent, Omari Banks. I think we're going to have him on the program again next week just to do perhaps a little segment for us, Andrew.
What's her name, Barry? You need to know it. Omari Banks Unplugged.
Omari Banks Unplugged. He's been sweet on that. And we must say, tremendous stuff. Next week, we hope to have Marlon Samuels on the show. And who knows, we might just have Omari Banks back for one more stint. I expect a lot of hits on this. Of course, you can see us on Twitter at Line Length and also on Facebook. Of course, go to Facebook / Barry Wilkins or Facebook / Line Length. And you can send us your emails to cricket@lineandlength.net. That's it for Mass United Insurance's Line and Length. We're going to go out with Omari Banks, who's moved on.
Sweet.
Don't look back on what you could have done. Just move on, but learn you champion. And don't sit and sulk, my friend, you are a godson. My people, move on, but learn you champion.